Good morning everyone, I'm Julian and I will be sharing my 6 months internship with Zahidi Architect. The firm mainly do projects on commercial, semi-detached residentials, townships as well as educational institutions. This includes completed projects as shown below like Curtin University, Kebun Villas at Lombok and East Park Hotel. It is located at 212 Telok Kurau Road, Bright Centre and have a company size of 10 people including me. The key people during my internship would be Mr. Zahidi, which is the principal architect and owner of the firm, as well as Mr. Zhu, my supervisor. Usually the designs would be done by the principal architects, then handed down to the drafter to carry out the plans, sections, and elevations, and followed by 3D modeling if necessary. From there, it will be handed down to either of the architect associates. The architect associates will work with the drafter and QP to follow up with the projects through submissions and discussions with the owner. Occasional company meetings are held once every 2 months or when there are few new projects coming in to distribute the new workloads. Meeting with boss to check out with the work progress would also be organized occasionally between the boss, project manager, and architect associate according to the status of the project to meet the timeline. In conclusion, the office environment is made collaborative and communicative where challenges are faced together, which fostered a culture of learning, innovation, and teamwork. My primary responsibilities revolves around swiftly incorporating the latest weekly adjustments into plan, section, and elevation drawings following our site meetings, which I consider to be my most impactful contribution. Additionally, I actively participate in creating and revising door and window schedules as well as material lists as needed across various projects. Moreover, I take on the task of producing addendum drawings for projects, facilitating new revisions to interior designs, and architectural drawings. Overall, through these diverse tasks, I've not only contributed significantly but also gained invaluable knowledge and skills. I was tasked on developing a few proposals for a two-story dormitory extension at Jukun to accommodate 24 workers along with incorporating recreational spaces. Throughout this process, I had to ensure compliance with regulations, including estimating light transmitting area and calculating natural ventilation for each room. This involved determining the appropriate number and placement of windows in accordance with the codes. Although daunting at first, especially considering it was my initial assignment upon joining, I embraced the challenge wholeheartedly. I would also help out with rendering and 3D modeling of a few dwelling projects and a dementia home project. Occasionally, I would help the quantity surveyor with some of her stuff, such as calculation for tender and looking out for vendors such as for semi-detached dwelling project. I helped to find vendors for solar panels and solar heaters. From there, I managed to learn more about different things to take note of, such as specs and types of phase the solar panels use to come out with a comparison chart to find the best vendors and then communicate it with the clients at meetings. As for the tender calculations, I help with the tabulation and organizing the numbers into charts for better reference and for comparison for each element in the tender. I've learned new software such as SketchUp and D5, which is a rendering tool. It was a little difficult at first to get used to initially. I've come to understand the importance of clarifying any uncertainties before moving forward. There were instances where I wasn't confident in my interpretation and proceeded without consulting my supervisors and colleagues, only to find out that I was mistaken. Since then, I've adopted a habit of diligently noting down instructions and asking as much questions as possible during our discussion to ensure clarity and accuracy. I've also learned to pay more attention to details like measurements, annotations, and regulations. It is also important for me to check my work a few times to ensure that I don't miss out on any small details. Some interesting things to mention were that during the end of my internship, our boss treated us to a trip to JB to celebrate the end of my internship. He took us to a seafood meal and took us shopping at a mall. Another thing is a supplier showcase. A toilet accessory supplier recommended by one of the clients came to showcase their products in the office. I had the chance to learn about the price ranges for bathroom accessories and which company of manufacturer would generally be preferred. A few of the challenges that I faced during my time there would be time management skills. There were times when multiple projects were passed to me at the same time, and it was important that I manage my time properly such that the work would be completed on time. Another thing would be the constant design changes. Some projects involved weekly meetings and frequent design adjustments, so I had to work swiftly to implement these changes to ensure that the updated drawings were available for each meeting. Last but not least, codes and regulations. I encountered several new codes concerning aspects like ventilation, which required some time for me to grasp fully. Thankfully, my supervisors were patient enough and allowed necessary time for me to familiarize myself with these new requirements. My advice would be to be proactive. Don't be shy and try to ask around if anyone needs help after you've completed your work. And always back up your files. Try to bring your own thumb drive and duplicate the files before you begin with the work, just in case you need to refer back. Last but not least, bring your own food. Try to bring your own as stalls are 15 minutes walking distance and a convenience store is across the road but it's still troublesome to go out, especially when it rains. As for my future aspirations, I'll probably take a gap year to explore another field and further my studies in a different field. Thank you.